Gentlemen, welcome back to Game on Purpose. My name is Michael, and this series is about feeling stuck. We talked about why we feel stuck, the inaction that gets us there and keeps us there, waiting for something to take over us, motivation and why it doesn't work for us. And last week we talked about small wins that build momentum. This week, I want to talk about discipline and why it is so hard. And while we do that, we're going to finish up the regular season with the Baltimore Ravens, going into Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. They may not have a strong record, but they do have Peyton Manning and Marcus Allen and Larry Fitzgerald on offense. So this will be a tough game. As a reminder, we are the number one seed going into the playoffs. Looks like we're on a crash course to take on those New York Giants. Let's finish this season strong, get into the playoffs, and go win the Super Bowl. And here we are in Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers in this last game of the season. We got Snoop Dogg out here with his terrible towel getting the crowd going. And here come the Steelers with Peyton Manning at quarterback. And we'll be kicking off to start the game. I know this isn't, they don't have a great record. This isn't a great team, but they do have great players, and I don't want this to be a trap game. I do want to win this game and go with some momentum into the playoffs. So I think discipline is hard for a reason. It's not supposed to be easy. People say, just be disciplined. But if it were that easy, everybody would do it. Nice. And most of the time, you already know exactly what you should be doing. You just don't feel like doing it. Well, that was a great defensive stand. 3 and out. Fourth down. They're punting the ball to us already. Let's see if we can get a nice score on our first drive. And with discipline, I think that's where most people get stuck. It's not because they don't know what to do. It's because they don't know how to follow through. And the frustrating part is that it feels like a personal problem. Like there's something wrong with you. But honestly, there's a reason it feels that way. Let me run this play and we'll talk more about that. All right, we got to get the first down. Oh, yes. Great catch. As we've talked about in previous episodes, is that your brain is wired to keep you safe. It's wired to keep you alive, not to help you grow. Wow. Can't believe I just threw that interception. Willie Davis just peeled off the edge and picked me off. Man. All right, let's hold him back. Let's hold him up again. But your brain is trying to keep you alive, and that is all it's concerned about. It's not worried about growth. It's not worried about your development. It's not worried about you getting out of being stuck and striving for more. It's just keeping you alive. You have to push through that. From an evolutionary standpoint, your brain is constantly trying to conserve energy. It wants to avoid unnecessary effort. And your brain looks at growth and all of these things, discipline, motivation, as energy it doesn't want to expend. And it always is looking for quick rewards. And when it comes to discipline, when it comes to motivation, when it comes to growth, there is no such thing as quick rewards. And what we've talked about in previous episodes with dopamine, your brain is looking for that dopamine hit. You are trained to look for those dopamine hits. Things like scrolling on your phone, relaxing, doing something easy that doesn't feel like it's expending energy, mental energy, physical energy. It's just letting you get those quick hits of reward. But things that actually improve your life, those usually take effort and don't feel good right away. They simply do not feel good right away. That's the hardest part of this whole conversation for everyone, is that you want to go make these changes. You want to go out and be a reader, a runner, a lifter, you know, something that's difficult, that's not part of your everyday routine. There we go. First down. And it doesn't feel good right away. It hurts. Or it's hard. Your brain naturally pulls you towards what's easy and away from what's hard. So you have to, whoa, that was great defense. So your brain is pulling you away from things that are hard. And when something feels uncomfortable, your brain wants to avoid it. Oh, great defense. 3rd and 12. I'm going to see if I can get them with a slip screen here. This looks promising. Let's go for it. Get your block. Oh, we're going for it. All right, 4th and 1. We're going for this. This is risky, but we're going for it anyways. But like I said, your brain wants to avoid those hard things even when it's actually good for you. That was a terrible call to go for it on 4th down. That did not work out well for us. Back on defense. We're going to play one more defensive set, then we'll go into the key moments. And for any of you that have read The War of Art, which is an incredible book, there's a concept that the book talks about around resistance. That it's basically this invisible force. It shows up whenever you're trying to do something meaningful. And that can be, like we've talked about, reading, running, writing, working out, starting something new that you're not accustomed to. And the more important the thing is, the more resistance you're going to feel. All right, we've got these guys backed up. I'm coming in with a blitz here. Let's see if we can stop them. Oh no. Got a flag on the play. That's good. What do we got? Give us a holding. Illegal contact. First down, Steelers. And I've noticed that in my life. I've noticed the more I want to do something that I know is going to help me are the things I tend to avoid the most. I've changed that over time. This is how I used to feel. I used to avoid the long runs. I used to avoid the heavy lifts. I used to avoid the difficult conversations. I knew that being, having a set of friends, having men in my life to help support me in things that I need help with, I was resistant to that. I made that change. I went from avoidance to pushing through the lack of motivation, the feeling of being stuck, into I'm going to do this thing anyways. I'm going to make this a part of my life. And the one thing you have to remember when it comes to resistance is when you don't feel like doing it, it's not laziness. It is that resistance pushing against you. Okay, field goal. That was a good stop after we went forward on 4th down. I'm going to do this kick return. We're going to run into key moments and finish this game, finish this conversation. And the next time we get the ball, we got 59 seconds left before halftime. Still 3-0. Let's see if we can get a score here before halftime. We will be getting the ball after halftime, so this could be a big moment for us. But something I wanted to talk about with resistance and this entire conversation around discipline, and we've talked a lot about this, is, going to the gym. Even something as simple as going to the gym every day. Nobody feels like going every day. Oh, 1 second. Let's get that. All right. But people who actually change, they go anyways. They know that if they just show up and do this thing every day or as many times per week as they want, after a while, it stops being about motivation and it becomes something about you. You are the one that goes. You are the one that pushes yourself to go through that resistance, through that lack of motivation. You are the person that goes to the gym. You are now a lifter. All right, with 9 seconds left, we're going to try to run one more play. If it's not there, I'm going to throw it away or try to get out of bounds and leave us some time for a field goal if not. All right, with 9 seconds, we're going to try to get this in the end zone. I'm going to put Bo Jackson on a Texas, looking for Devontae Adams to the left there. Got him. He didn't catch it. I've still got time for one more. Let's see if we can make up for that. I'm going to do the same thing with Bo Jackson. Looking at Percy Harvin. Let's see what we get. Touchdown, Ravens. And the next time we get the ball is after halftime. We're up 7-3. A little under 4 minutes left in the game. Let's keep this rolling. And one thing I want to bring back into the conversation is we talked about in Atomic Habits where you create the system. You create a system for yourself and you don't rise to the level of your goals. Remember, you fall to the level of your systems. You fall to the level of your systems, and discipline is part of that system. Let's get this field goal here. I missed it wide right. What was I even thinking? All right, big last drive here. It's 21-18, minute 53 left. We just need to run the clock out. Let's finish this game. Going back to that conversation about the gym, it's not about it's not about feeling motivated. It's about creating that identity that you are a person that goes. You are a person that's dedicated and disciplined to go. You don't decide your future once, you decide it every day. Let that sink in for a second. It's not one decision that you make. It is a decision every day to go. You are now a person that goes every day. And the unfortunate truth about discipline is that it never gets easier. Stay in bounds. Nice. You just get better at choosing what matters. Discipline is choosing what you want long term over what feels good right now. You're not always going to feel like doing things. Great run. That's kind of the point. If it felt easy, it wouldn't require discipline. You would just do it. And if it didn't require discipline, it probably wouldn't matter that much. This is something that I'm still working on because it is something you have to choose every single day. You don't just become a disciplined person. You have to wake up and decide that you're going to be disciplined and you're going to do that thing. All right. Michael Vick, Baltimore Ravens coming out in the victory formation. We're going to win this game. We're going to finish this season with another win, taking us to 14-3, going into the playoffs for the number 1 seed. And that'll do it. 21-18 over the Steelers. Steelers are off to Cancun. We're off to the playoffs. So remember, discipline is hard. It's not about feeling ready. It's not about feeling motivated. It's about doing it anyways. It's about creating a new identity for yourself. And when you feel that resistance, know it's because it's something that's meaningful. Your brain is not built for growth. It's built for survival. So you have to push through and make that long-term decision for yourself. Every day you choose to become a better version of yourself. And that happens through discipline. So keep pushing, keep working, and eventually it becomes who you are. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to finishing this series and finishing this season in the playoffs with the Baltimore Ravens. We'll see you at the next for the playoffs. Thanks so much. Bye.